Genshin Impact is by far the best gacha game I have ever played. Beyond the fact of it not just being a bunch of moving PNGs exclusive to a phone screen, one aspect of the game that separates it from all others for me immediately was the free roam. The world of Teyvat is grand, and as time has gone on, it has only gotten grander and intends to continue doing so for the foreseeable future. Honestly, this virtue was so incredible that at first, I found myself being a bit overwhelmed by it all. But even then, uncovering the many mysteries of such a colossal map is a whole lot of fun in and of itself. Every expanse is a reason to celebrate and a whole lot of anticipation for us as fans of the game. And so with the soon-to-be new region of Inazuma right over the horizon, I would love to further embrace this incredible part of the game. Hello kings, queens, and majesties, welcome to Whalestat. I am Slice of Otaku. And when it comes to a fulfilling adventure, it's best to come prepared. And so here, we have the top 5 utility characters in Genshin Impact as of update 1.6. Now this list will not be in any particular order, as every character mentioned is able to bring something different to the table, and so to compare them outright would be a bit silly. But with that out of the way, let us begin. Number 5, Venti. Oh, Venti, the Animo Archon. This was my very first 5-star as I got him when the game first released, and truly, in regards to traversing the world, Venti exemplifies freedom. This is a character that, especially in the region of Mondstadt, serves to trivialize a number of puzzles and/or obstacles that I imagine would otherwise actually require a bit of brainpower. Holding that elemental skill of his just makes you feel like a dandelion seed in the breeze. Not to mention that with that passive skill he has, Wind Rider, you're able to reduce your team's gliding stamina consumption by 20%, which is the only one of its kind in the game and makes getting from place to place that much easier. And truly, when you're early game and don't exactly have the stamina to spare, this skill is truly a godsend. Number 4, Ninguang. Now, Ninguang may be a regal kind of gal, but when it comes to getting her hands dirty and putting in that work, there is nobody better. You see, Ninguang has a unique passive ability known as Trove of Marvelous Treasures that allows her to display nearby ore veins on the minimap. This makes hunting down those precious resources a whole lot easier and takes away the guesswork. You won't have to question whether you've already hit a particular spot or not. And sure, maybe you're so experienced that you have your mining routes mapped out and all that, but for those of us who are a bit less calculated and instead take as we go and let our senses guide our adventure, well, Ninguang is a major help. With that being said, it's not just that she's able to easily spot any ore, it is also that she's pretty much the best at mining this stuff as a geocatalyst user. Instead of swinging that massive claymore or using the elemental skill of another geo character, Ninguang makes things easy with her geo normal and charge attacks. Guys, with how demanding the upgrade of weapons in this game can be, you will never want to miss out on any of the shiny things, and boy does Ninguang have an eye for that. Number 3, Ganyu. Ganyu, what would I do without you? So beyond being one of the most lethal damage dealers in the game and a half-adeptus secretary with a glorious design, Ganyu is by far the greatest hunter in the game. For the sake of proper adventure, food is all too important, and Ganyu has the ability to prevent your food from running away from you. Be they a fox, a boar, a fish, or a bird, Ganyu is undisputed in their slaughter. First of all, as a bow user, she has range. Secondly, and most importantly, her fully charged shots release a cryo AoE upon a hit, which serves to bring any other animals in close proximity to your primary target right to your dinner plate as well. Ever since the KFC collab, I couldn't get enough of those drumsticks, so anytime I see a bird out and about and I don't have Ganyu on the team, I immediately regret everything. And beyond the birds, the fact that Ganyu is a cryo character means that the water she hits immediately freezes, which makes catching fish so ridiculously easy. And considering Inazuma is a region heavily inspired by Japanese culture, I suggest you get to fishing from now on so that you're prepared for all the new dishes that will be introduced. Number 2, Hutao. As if Ganyu wasn't enough, miHoYo is really over here making the most capable DPS characters in the game, also some of the most capable when it comes to utility. Talk about broken. But yeah, piggybacking off of that cooking point, Hutao's utility is entirely based in the culinary arts. And that is because Hutao is the best cook in the game right now. And I am so sorry, Xiangling, they really played you, girl. Now, the reason Hutao takes the crown, no insight, is simple. More is better. No, seriously, the name of the skill is the more the merrier, and it is unmatched. I mean, there are plenty of passives in the game related to cooking and such, but Hutao has them all beat on two fronts. The first being the fact that as opposed to the standard 12% chance to create double the product, Hutao has an incredible 18% chance to create a suspicious dish of the same type. Now mind you, a suspicious dish is in fact the lowest quality dish one can get, but the difference between this and perfect just aren't substantial enough for me to really care. Especially when you're more than likely just desperately trying to stuff your face and get some quick heals. With a higher percentage, you are more likely to get this skill to proc than any other, so that means more food overall in your inventory. And I love that sort of reliability. But the second way Hutao sends her competition to the afterlife is her versatility. This ability isn't limited to any specific sort of food alone. For everyone else, we have the prerequisite of healing, attack, or defense, but with Hutao, you can reap the benefits of any food in the game. So yeah, Hutao wins for sure. Now before we get to our number 1 spot, here are some honorable mentions. Albedo and his elevator of an elemental skill are great for traversal, albeit with a whole lot less verticality than something like Venti's, and sadly it tends to clip into surfaces often, which prevents it from moving, and you can only remain still on it for so long before it drops you back down. With that being said, his double product crafting passive and any others like it are amazing. Despite only a 10% chance to double the result as opposed to Mona's 25% chance to refund one of the components used, I always go with the 10% regardless. Then we have Kaya, the original Genshin Impact boat, taking us from sea to Shining Sea with his fabulous E. But hey, teleporters are a thing, so it's mostly a one-time use, and even then, if you get the timing right, Ganyu can get the same job done. As if she needed any more credentials to be on this list. Although I'm pretty terrible in both cases. But then there is Amber, who I could not have on this list, considering utility is pretty much all she's good at in the game. Especially early on where there are a whole lot of pyro puzzles and you may not have any other pyro characters, she has her use, but that only lasts for so long, and since we know we're getting an actually good pyro bow user real soon, I can't justify the inclusion. Number 1, Barbara. Oh, I bet your Constellation 26 Barb is just jumping for this one. If everyone else on this list is like a fine wine, Barbara is struggle food. But listen, adventures don't always go as planned, and so it's good to be prepared for the worst. In the event that you are ever running low on food, and the gods are just sick and tired of you treating their statues like a healing water fountain, Barbara will be your team's water boy. Sure, it may take time for her skill to cool down, but when it does, that's free heals, baby. And heals that you can actually manipulate to be higher by way of artifacts and skill upgrades. So in theory, a patient player could completely derive all heals from Barbara alone. And honestly, that sort of dedication is a little unsettling, but hey, it's an option nonetheless. There are plenty more and arguably better healers in the game, but again, because Barb can heal from just her skill, she is a cut above the rest in this particular case because you don't have to enter a fight for the sake of preparing for the next one. And really, if you're anything like me with characters heavily invested in health, like Hutao or Zhongli, those Archon statues will struggle to cover your entire team, and using a whole lot of food can sometimes feel wasteful, so Barbara is a wonderful alternative. But there we have it, guys, the top 5 utility characters in Genshin Impact. What do you think of our list? Do you agree, or do you feel like somebody else should be up there instead? Please let us know down below. It is always a pleasure to bring you guys more Genshin Impact content, so if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Whalestat because there is plenty more where that came from. I have been your host, Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.